Not Vanelle preaching celibacy while doing everything but being celibate. And what's up with Vanessa begging for intimacy just to be disappointed? And definitely not a breakup. That was just one argument away from happening, anyways. Yeah. Episode 5, everyone was exposed.
Kay Unscripted, no teens restricted. In this journey, watch our stories unfold.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Kay Unscripted. I am your girl Kay, and today we're breaking down Age of Attraction, Season 1, Episode 5. Now, if this is your first time here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because clearly some of y'all are watching and you're not yet subscribed. Okay, so please go ahead and subscribe because we're not doing that in 2026. I'm just kidding, but please go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more recaps like this one. All right, let's get into Age of Attraction. So we start the episode off with Libby and Andrew waking up. It's crazy how when she woke up, she's like, oh, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, oh, there's a stranger in my bed. But she was happy to have a stranger in her bed because technically they've only known each other for just a couple of days, and now they're sharing a bed together. Very weird. Anyway, he asks if she's afraid of commitment, and she says no, but we know that girl is lying. She definitely did say before that she's scared of commitment. He wants to know if their real life will change the dynamics of their relationship, and he gives an example by explaining to her that, say for instance, he has to hang out with her, but something comes up to do with his daughters. Is she going to be devastated? Libby said that's fine with her because she doesn't want to be suffocated in a relationship and prefers for him to do his thing so she can do her thing, because she just wants to live her life and have fun and be with her friends, which also means that she doesn't want to be in a committed relationship, because let's be honest, she's here for a good time, not a long time. Okay, so let's move on to Theresa and John. She wants to talk about kids, and I'm like, kids? What kids? Your kids, or you mean him wanting kids? Because I thought maybe that wasn't possible because of her age, but she just wants to probably be sure that he knows that she's not having any kids. Anyways, he says that he doesn't want to have kids because he doesn't have the time, he doesn't have the bandwidth, nor the emotional capacity to raise any child. I mean, he's still raising himself, so no surprise here. Now, I don't know if I believe him, because a lot of the time these people get on these shows and say whatever they think their partner wants to hear, especially around the topic of kids. She says, well, if you change your mind, that ship has sailed for me, but we can explore other options like adoption or surrogacy. But John insists that he doesn't want to have kids. That man said he likes his peace. Now, what I did have to side-eye Theresa on is how she said if she met John at an event, she would have set him up with her daughter. And she's like, psych, Theresa, not good at all. Now, Leah's asking Chris about his dad's health status. Apparently, he was taking care of his dad, and so she's trying to find out if his family can survive without him because they're away for this experiment. He said he's always said that he would not be able to settle properly until his dad passes. But since his health has improved, he's able to care for himself. Now, as someone who's lost their parent, and I also used to care for my mom, that thought never crossed my mind. As tired and overwhelming as it became for me, not once did I think my life would have felt better or been better. I'm not caring for my parents until they're gone, or my mom until she's gone. So him saying that definitely made me feel some type of way. I guess he's entitled to have his opinion, but I didn't like it at all. That came out so wrong for me. He said that he still questions emotionally if he's ready to commit to someone fully because his family still depends on him so much. Now, Leah wants him to clarify his living situation because she wants him to be in close proximity in LA with her family. Chris says this is certainly an option for him, but it's not his number one priority. because he has so much responsibility. His business is also in Miami, I think, and that is also another factor for him. And there's just a lot that he would have to change to move to where she's at. And it's just not going to be the same with his family if he moves, because they count on him so much. Now Leah wants the man to move to where she's at and tells him that he can visit his family every couple times a month. But why does he have to make the move? Can you not meet him in the middle? Can you not move? Why is he having to uproot his life for you when you are unwilling to do anything but say that you want to be close to your family? Well, what about him? Doesn't his family matter? Yeah, it's a no for me. I don't think these two are going to last. Vanelle and Jorge. Child, these two, Lord put a hand. Still pasa mete alame mete api. Oh my Lord. She is telling him, let's talk about my celibacy. And it's not a surprise to me that Jorge still cannot be specific with his responses. Because instead of him being honest and saying, no, I cannot wait, I'm not okay with your celibacy, he says it's going to be tough for him. So he's leaving it up to her to interpret it however she wants, so that he can turn around and say, well, you said it, not me. We see that happening a lot with Jorge. She's like, well, why am I here? What do you need to say, yes or no? She's clearly looking for a definite response. Are you waiting for me to change my mind? And he's like, well, what do you mean? Because we just did the do, so what's that? She said, well, it's oral intimacy. So he's slipping on them juices and you think you're practicing celibacy? No, sir. No, you're not. I hate to have to agree with Jorge, but he's right, because whether or not you'll go all the way through as far as penetration, you are still performing acts of intimacy. And in my understanding, celibacy is abstaining from all acts of sex, okay? Now, we all know Jorge wasn't going to be down with that. He just made it seem like he was okay with it, but probably thought he could get Vanelle to change her mind, but so that he could go all the way with her, and that's just not happening. Now, the fact that they are having oral is like teasing the man and telling him no. In addition, he also knew he didn't want to practice celibacy himself, so he should have owned that in the promise room from then. Don't make it seem like you were okay with it. That was the mistake. Logan and Vanessa at dinner. He said what I said in my last recap, that she's insecure and projecting it on him. He said it much nicer than I did, but she was like, me insecure? Yes, you girl. He's not talking about me, because I'm definitely not insecure and my name is not Vanessa. But he continues to say that they had a rough start, but the spark disappears over time. So she said, oh, you had a spark for me? He's like, yes, what you mean? Don't you see it? Of course she doesn't see it, because for her the spark comes from physical intimacy. So he said, see, that's what I'm talking about, because you're saying we're roommates, but it seems like you're projecting because you see this as a fling. She says, well, I want the sparks and hot summer vibes. And he said, oh, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that I'm taking this too serious, right? Yes, Logan, that is what she's saying. She then tells him that she feels like she's walking on eggshells around him, because it's some conversations she just doesn't want to talk about, and she doesn't want to come across as if she's mothering him. But girl, you are mothering him, because he even said that you're always telling him what to do over and over again, to the point where he had to ask if she sees them as an equal, or if she thinks he's less than. And let's be real, she doesn't see him as an equal. She sees him as a child. Now, he's not playing these games with Vanessa at all, because he said to her, do you like me or do you like the idea of me? She likes the idea of you. Let's be real, that's just what it is. She just wants to get laid by a young tenderoni. That's just what it is. Seriously, we're being honest here. Because why is your desperate behind always begging this man to screw you? We have yet to see y'all having any other conversation besides you wanting sex. Now, Vanessa wasn't the only one annoying the hell out of me. Let's talk about Leah and Chris. They get back to their apartment from brunch. The man is tired. He wants to take a nap. But she's like, oh, you're boring. Are you going to leave me? Let's go outside. Let's get a massage. I want this. I want that. Girl, you're working my nerves. Please act your age. Stop. Take your behind and go read a book because it's giving desperate. Let that man breathe. Yo, what's up with these older women pressuring these young men? Leave these men alone. Let the man breathe. Let him relax. If he wants to take a nap, let him take a nap. Then she's sitting her behind on that couch saying, oh, look at you being so mean to me. I hate you. Leah, shut up. Go read a book. Go find something constructive to do. We then find out that Logan and Vanessa finally did the do, but he released too fast. And even the way she was telling him, oh, we could do it so many more times, and a woman needs to be warmed up first. He said, girl, I have never had a complaint, so stop. She was definitely schooling him on what to do. So they wake up the next day, and she obviously didn't just wake up, right? Because she has a fresh face of makeup. Girl, we know you got up early, put your face on, and came back in the bed and tried to act like you just woke up. Okay, we know that's what's happening. She's saying, oh, now I know the real Logan. I bet you met the real Logan because now she's just so happy that he gave her some. Okay, she said, I'm glad you let me in, or rather you let him in. Anyways, she says she's happy that he's showing up how he's supposed to and not the way he thinks he's supposed to. That lady is just happy that she got some pin. Okay, we continue the discussion with Vanelle and Jorge. Apparently they're struggling. Jorge tells this story about how a guy walked up to him and was making threatening remarks to him, and he told the guy to back up. They exchanged words, and Vanelle felt some type of way about that. Now, Jorge, the way you talk about always being on 10, I for sure think you're leaving out some parts of the story. I could very well imagine the way you were speaking or behaving or composing yourself. So they're talking about it, and he said the way he dealt with the situation is because of where he came from. He's very protective because he's not about to let anybody run upon him talking crazy. She said she felt very uncomfortable and felt like that situation could have been dealt with differently. He disagrees with her, kind of, and he felt like he handled it the way it was supposed to, and furthermore, she should respect and honor his decision. That's what he said. Now, hold on there, Jorge, because just because you do what you do and you feel like that was the best decision for you in that moment, it doesn't mean that I have to agree with it because you're my man. I have the option to disagree with you as well because my voice and my feelings are also very important. Now, I kind of understand where Vanelle is coming from because if you're sheltered, which I can tell that she probably is, or the family she came from, she's not exposed to that sort of behavior, that could be very scary or even traumatizing for you. And I feel like that's a valid reason as to why she may feel that way. Although we don't know the full story, and I just feel like there are missing parts in it, but I feel like if this is where it's coming from, that is valid. He says that they've overcome a lot and they're now trying to see if they align with each other on a day-to-day basis. She said she's just trying to figure out if they're compatible or not, and he said, well, it's whatever, I'm down for whatever. Vanelle then says, well, why are you leaving it up to me? He said that he's not, but he definitely was leaving that decision up to her to decide. This is a pattern with Jorge. He's never direct when it comes to making certain decisions. It's always open-ended. He's always leaving room for opinions so that he can turn around and say, well, you're the one who chose to do that and not me. I can get that from Jorge. We've seen it happen so many times. Now, Jorge starts going in on Vanelle, telling her, just so you know, I'm definitely going to respond the way I did in that situation if it happens again. And as my woman, you should back me up. Where is your knowledge? You've never been in that situation. He's telling her, you have no idea how to be street smart, just going in and taking digs at her, trying to make her look stupid. And she said, yeah, that's enough. I'm done talking. She was so done that she had them take her mics off. Now we move on to a conversation between Pfeiffer and Derek. The conversation was initiated by Pfeiffer. She's asking what his experience is when it comes to introducing a spouse or partner to your children, because in her life her parents introduced her to several different partners, and it was really unhealthy because the relationships didn't last long term. So she wants to know how Derek feels about that. He says that he has a process when it comes to that, and for him, his partner has to meet the mother of his sons first, and there has to be mutual respect from her and the mother of his sons, and then the sons will then meet the partner. She said she's never thought she would be in that type of situation, but she feels like it's just a bonus to her life. They also talk about location. He would like for her to move to Dallas with him because this is where his life is, and she feels like she's able to move, but they do need to have more conversation before she decides if this is what she really wants to do. Now Vanelle comes back to the apartment. She's sitting at the table. She's looking over at Jorge, I guess wanting to have a conversation with him. He's sitting on the couch. He's on his tablet. He's probably on Instagram browsing, looking for his next victim. That's probably what's happening. But they're just looking at each other for a good minute, just eyeing each other. And finally he says, you good? So anyway, they revisit the celibacy conversation because Vanelle is really trying to see if they're a good match, which I personally feel like she's already checked out of that relationship and wants to exit it. But she wants to make sure that she has valid reasons as to why she wants to leave. And again, I know she used that tactic because Jorge has not been direct with a lot of things, and she wants to make sure I am leaving because of ABC. We talked about it. This is what you said. This is what I said. And that is why I made the decision that I made. So she says, well, in the promised room, you made it seem like you didn't care about my celibacy. But now that we're here, it's I don't know. And had she known that, she wouldn't have continued with the process, playing house with him. Now, child, Jorge said, well, since you want to take it there, I'm taking it to hell. He's like, well, we've done things, so you cannot say you're serious about your celibacy when we're still doing things. You're the one who's violating your rules, not me. And you seem to want to control me, and it's just not happening. I'm not the one or the two, baby. She said, well, I guess we're good. We can just go our separate ways. And I'm like, girl, why did you let that man embarrass you like that? You didn't think he would be telling the world that y'all have been doing the do, okay? I really hate to have to agree with Jorge. Even if he pretended that he was okay with her being celibate, I feel like he was hoping that he was able to change her mind. But you were definitely leading that man on. You should have been honest and transparent about what celibacy looked like to you. Okay? Now she's crying, saying that she doesn't want to jeopardize her faith. But baby, you did that the moment you started playing house with this man. Letting him slope your juices, and you enjoying his lollipop, it was jeopardizing your faith. And then she's going to say, oh, she's never going to find a connection like this again. I'm like, girl, you're going to be just fine. Please go home. Now the couples are having another little mixer, and so they peep that Vanelle and Jorge are missing. Then Nick Vile and his wife walk in. I cannot remember her name at all. But they come in and they break the news about Jorge and Vanelle and let the other couples know that they broke up. So they then go around to each couple to check in to see how they're doing, and everyone was really respectful and honest about what the situation was. But here comes Leah being rude and obnoxious when Chris was speaking, and I'm like, girl, shut up, let that man speak. Now the couples are then informed that their friends and families are coming to visit, and immediately everyone's petrified, and I'm like, why are you all pretending like y'all didn't know that this was part of the process? So here comes Miss Vanessa and her desperate behind. She cannot allow Logan to have his own opinion because why does him saying it's crazy mean that he doesn't want to introduce her to his people? And now all of a sudden everyone's acting up. Here comes the other blondie. She's taking it personal, getting in her feelings. Theresa, she walks away crying, and I'm like, girl, you signed up for this. You knew this was part of the process. So what is the problem? Wipe those crocodile tears. It's not making sense. Nobody told you to go and pick a man who's same age with your child or your son is older than. Girl, please stop. Then here comes Vanessa and her raggedy ass again, making a big deal out of nothing, okay? And I'm like, girl, relax. You're trying your hardest to look young. You're the one who wants to do Botox and lip fillers and all of the things, right? To look very young. You don't want to accept that the fact that you're older than you're trying to look, and that's the problem. You're still projecting your insecurities on that man, and you need to stop. Child, these older women are getting on my last nerve. And that was episode 5, but baby, relationships are hanging on by a thread because reality is starting to kick in. And next episode with these family visits, it's about to get real messy. Please let me know in the comments who you really think is going to make it to the end. At this point, I don't think any of them are going to really commit to the relationship, but we're going to have to wait till the end to find out. And y'all, I'm going to try my best to get these episodes out. But for now, like the video, share it with a friend, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning into Kay Unscripted, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.